This next one is the clef. It looks like a musical note, like this. So you can start with a number of pieces that are cut to the same size, and you can usually just take a little measurement here. Sometimes they're 3 inches, sometimes they're 4 inches. But one thing that you'll want to do for your craftsmanship is to make sure your ends don't have a taper that the cutters leave. So you can take it and you can do like 12 swipes. That's usually all it takes to make the end look really flush and, you know, just crisp on the end. Same thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And that usually does it. This one has a weird end, so I might do just a couple more swipes. But you do that to all of them to start off. And then what I definitely suggest that you do is you kind of do things in an assembly line fashion. Whatever you do to one, do to all of them. So the order that you're going to be making this, you're going to start with the first bend. So the first bend is going to be the tail of the clef. And so you would just take the pliers and just kind of curl it around, but leave it slightly open. Do the same thing to the second, do the same thing to the third, and just curl it. It's partly closed. So you want to leave it a little bit open so that you'll be able to put it onto the next clef. The next step is then to take, I don't know, probably about 1 inch up or so. This little curl is going backward toward me, and now I'm going to go in this direction. I have no idea if this is going to end up being a clef or not, or if it's going to be an S, we'll see. But you can go in this direction, and you can set it down. Do the same thing. You can match up one to the next one, hold them together, and grasp onto it using your pliers so it's in the same spot, and then go in the same direction. So I'm kind of going off to the right, doing the exact same thing. And then you do the same thing to the third one. So you have all of these that match first before you do the next step of this link. So then the next step of this link would be to put it this way, and you can hold on to it using one pair of these pliers this way, and then you can use a flat nose or you can use the chain nose pliers to hold on to the other end. And then you're going to start to grab onto it and you're going to start to loop it. So you can kind of do this in its own way. And when you spiral it, you're kind of grabbing a hold of it and you're just twirling it. And it takes a little practice to do this, but you can get it. And you can keep curling it until, and you know, you can use your hands as well. It doesn't have to be all pliers, but you can keep curling it until you get the shape that you're wanting. So you can have the middle look a little bit like this, or you can make it curly in the center. It doesn't really matter, but you want to try and get all of them to look alike. So doing the same thing over here. I think I bent this in the wrong way. If I did, then you can always take it. I bent it backward. And so what you can be doing is you can take it and you can turn that loop so that it goes the other way, so that then you'll have two that are going the right way so that it matches. Like this. So the tops of the loops are going the same way. And I think they are probably going the opposite way. I think I've got it going kind of weird. So this is a thing to pay attention to. You have to make sure that the ends that are going over top of one another, whatever is going in front, and that they're all alike. So you can be holding it in your hand and take it with these pliers here and keep curling it, and then grab a hold of the end, and then you can sort of start bending the whole entire wire so that it looks like that. And then put it in place. Then you have two that look pretty close to being alike. You know, two pretty close ones. So I'll hold them up so that you can see what they look like. They're pretty close in size, they're pretty close in shape. And then when you have a number of these together, then you just hook them to one another. And you just make sure that all of the clefs are facing forward, which means the hooks go backward so that the clefs can be facing forward. And then the clasp will come later. We'll talk about that later in another demo. But in order to close these, you're going to use the flat nose or the chain nose pliers to bring them closed. So you can go from the side and kind of squeeze it a little bit closed, like that, so that they stay. But you only do that after they're all linked together. And then hopefully you'll have the right number for the bracelet and it'll fit. But again, we'll do the clasp part later.